Hi guys, so, with the new series of Kaladesh coming out, I figured I should do an intro on, the 5 intro decks that were introduced for the last series, Eldritch Moon. I'm not counting Conspiracy because it was much more of a draft series, didn't have any intro decks, it didn't really have a story. So, the last major series on one of my favorite blocks, the Shadows over Innistrad block, was Eldritch Moon. Now, in terms of the decks, there were, I believe, 4 or 5. There was Unlikely Alliances, which was Plains and Black, or White and Black. There was Dangerous Knowledge, which was blue and red. There was Untamed Wild, which was green and red. There was Weapons and Wards, which was, I believe, green and black. And then there was Shallow Graves, which was black and blue. And personally, my favorite deck, and this was my very first deck actually, and the one I would definitely recommend for noobs is Dangerous Knowledge. And the symbol for it was the Niblis of Frost hollow. And I also have the Sanctifier of Souls, which is the Unlikely Alliances hollow, but that deck isn't as good as Dangerous Knowledge. Now, Dangerous Knowledge comes with a lot of cards, and it's a red and blue deck, so you're going to be seeing a lot of mountains and islands in it, such as the island and the mountain. And its point was Prowess. For those of you who don't know, Prowess is an ability that certain creatures have where whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it gets a +1/+1. There are varying degrees of it. Sometimes I believe it can get a +3 or a +5, whatever. But a must-have card for this deck, I'm just going to be showcasing some cards that you should get for this deck. A must-have card, because this deck has a crap ton of instances, is Rise from the Tides. This is uncommon. You can find it in Shadows over Innistrad. It's the most overpowered card in the world for this. Basically, for each, you put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield, tapped, for each instant and sorcery in your graveyard. At one point, I used this and I placed down 7 creature. That was equivalent to 14 points of damage. It's incredibly overpowered. I won the game with it. And another really helpful card for this is Drag Under. It's fairly cheap, it's common, it's from Eldritch Moon, it's a sorcery, and its ability is that you return a target creature to its owner's hand and you draw a card. Very similar to Unsubstantiate, which is another card that you should get in this deck. And another one, I use this all the time, it's an excellent card. Chilling Grasp. It has Madness, and its ability is that you tap 2 target creatures. Those creatures don't untap during their controller's next untapped step. Very nice. And another creature that you should have in this deck, I don't particularly add a lot of creatures, but even though this doesn't have anything to do with this deck, it doesn't have prowess, it's just excellent in this deck, Identity Thief. This is actually the promo. I have the regular version in this, but Identity Thief is super overpowered. It costs 4 mana, slightly expensive because it's a 0/3, but whenever you attack, you control another creature. This thing takes another creature's stats and then attacks with it. So it's very nice. And a Planeswalker that I would recommend you have in this deck is Chandra the Firebrand. And the reason is that for its second ability, -2, whenever you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. So it's very nice. You can cast double. And you should also get more creatures with prowess, like a Lotus Path Djinn. This is from Fate Reforged. It's got flying and prowess, and it's a 2/3. And I would highly recommend that you get this deck. It's extremely good. And some other cards that you should get, Mind's Dilation. This is excellent because whenever your opponent plays his first spell, you can look at the top card of their library and play it, if it's a non-land card. It's excellent. I absolutely love it. And the last thing that you should have in this deck is This is a fairly recent card that I got, but it's still pretty nice. It's also from Fate Reforged. Supplant Form. It costs 6 mana, but return target creature to its owner's hand, and you put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of that creature. Very nice. I highly recommend that you pick this deck up. You can get it for $15 at your local game store. It also includes 2 booster packs, and it's very nice. You should definitely get it. And this is easily the best deck in the block of Shadows over Innistrad. Thank you very much.